What is up, everybody? This is Recap or Rewind. I'm J-Lag.
And I'm NB.
And we are recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 6, Episode 19. And it's called Chapter 114, The Witches of Riverdale.
And don't forget, guys, stick around for the ending of the podcast. We're going to go through our recap roundups. We're going to go some of your recap roundups, our best moments, best lines. There were so many good lines from this episode. Be sure to stick around for the end of the podcast for that.
And as always, to our continuing listeners and our brand new ones, thank you so much for joining us.
You stayed long enough to see a chaos reboot.
Oh my goodness. Let's get into this episode, y'all.
Let's get into it. I know you're excited.
I'm so excited. Brina was back. She came
Brini's back, but she's a selfish queenie.
She is a selfish
She's
witch.
really selfish. Like, that is what I learned from this episode. I was like, wow.
All
The
she cares about is
universe,
herself.
yeah, like the universe literally needs you, but you're like, I'm gonna go on an Italian dinner date. Like,
Yeah.
no, bitch. Like, how about you save people first?
Yeah, actually, I'm excited to talk to you about that too, because part
Okay,
of it
let's
I
do
kind
it.
of like low-key liked. So this episode, yeah, everybody's dead, but let's get right into it.
Let's get into it.
Starts off with everyone at the graveyard. They're in front of Nana Blossom's grave. It's like Cheryl and Heather and Veronica and Betty and Kevin. And Percival comes by and he's like, I'm here to like give my condolences.
He's like, I feel so bad for you guys. I'm like, this mother effer.
Best
Like,
mother ever. And Cheryl basically is like, you are the reason why they're
first of all,
dead
he
in the
came with
first
like
place.
one bouquet of flowers. Like,
One.
you killed like 7 people. Where are the 7 flowers?
7 flowers, please and thank you. Thank you. They are upset. Like, she's like, you're the reason why everybody's dead, blah, blah, blah. As soon as he leaves, obviously, because he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
She like kind of like wipes away her like one tear and she's like, all right, so the bodies are in the deep freeze at Dr. Curdle Jr.'s place. So really the bodies are not in the ground. They are like stored away and they're just trying to trick Percival into thinking they're actually dead, which is smart.
So happy about that, because I was like, don't start off this episode with like pissing me off already. That like these people are like already mourning them, and I was like, oh, okay, they have a plan. Okay,
They
good,
have an actual
good.
plan. Yeah, exactly.
They have a plan.
So then it's Heather, Tabitha, Betty, Veronica, Kevin, whatever. And Alice, they see Alice on the TV, and Alice is basically like coming up with this lie about the fact that there was this gangster fight, and that is what killed people at the White Worm.
At the White Worm.
It was like the ghoulies versus the
So like
serpents,
full
and they
out
killed and killed
lies, like
full
fake
out
news.
lies, and everybody's like, okay, cool, you're a liar. And it turns out that apparently not all firstborns in all of Riverdale were killed. It was just like all the firstborns like at the White Worm, like everybody
Yeah, and I guess the idea was that like, because I think Tabitha was like, why didn't he kill like all the like firstborn?
Yeah.
And then someone's like, oh, because like then people would definitely be like suspicious,
it's
and like he
suspicious,
couldn't
yeah.
explain that. I was like, oh, are we talking about realism right now?
Yeah,
Like we're
talking
actually
about
gonna bring this
believability
into this.
Riverdale?
Okay, cool.
But also doesn't really answer the reason why like Jughead was killed in the bunker. Like he wasn't even at the wedding.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, maybe he like
Whatever.
focused in on like that group
That
specifically.
core
I
group.
don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so everyone's dead. Not everybody's dead. They're waiting on Sabrina, but they only have like 12 hours left because this girl is like busy.
Like, where are you, girl? It's been like 2 days.
Get your life together.
They're like, we only have 12 hours left. I was like, oh, great. So Sabrina's only going to be here for like 12 hours.
Like half an hour. Yeah, exactly. And then one of the things that Betty mentions actually is something that we talked about quite a bit last episode, which is why the F is Kevin still alive? Because we were so frustrated with the fact that
hard-hitting questions. Yeah.
And it was actually something that I did theorize. I was like, I think that like because he didn't die, like he wants to punish him even harder because he like betrayed him. And so that's what he says. He's like, he wants to punish me properly. So he's like, I'm gonna run away to New York. Moose is already waiting for me. And I was like, get on that bus. Let's go. Like, get out of here. Like,
I have never been so excited for someone to catch the train. Like, literally, I was like, I will book your flight. Like, I will do this for you. The first,
how much is it? I will pay for it.
Train ride. I will like take you to the train.
Like,
and make sure you get on it and it leaves the right way.
And you never come back. Yeah. Honestly, I was so excited. Yeah, I know. Honestly, I was like, so many times there were moments where I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna die, and then no.
It's really sad that we think that, even though he's literally saying like, I want to save you guys and I want to help you guys, but I'm a dip, and we're like, go ahead, dip, please. Like, things are bad when.
Yeah. So
a little too late. It's just a little too late.
Yeah, 100%.
Like JoJo knew that this was gonna happen.
JoJo knew, and she said, "You need to go." So then it cuts to Reggie, and he brings back. So we now know why. Basically, Reggie hasn't been in the last like 2 episodes because
homeboy was in Italy.
He went to Rome. He was eating some of that pasta, talking to the Popagina, and he brings these daggers back to Percival. But he's like, yo, like, you killed like half of my classmates. Like, what the hell? And
yeah, he's Percival's like, I was down for that.
You know what? Like, it is what it is, whatever. But then Percival does tell him, like, here's like a little nuggie. I did an emergency vote because, like, obviously Veronica's been tied up with all this other stuff, and now you own the Babylonium. Like, so congratulations.
I'm not even gonna get into this. I'm not even gonna ask how this happened. I'm really not even gonna get into it because it's just ridiculous. Okay, yeah, whatever.
I was like, okay, fine, cool. Like, I guess that's how it works.
Like, so if Veronica had died, if she was one of the people that died, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. Like, okay, but like, she's still there.
She's still
whatever.
around.
I'm not even gonna get into it. Whatever.
Yeah, I can't. You can't even talk with the believability.
It's fine.
It's bullshit. So now he's the CEO of Babylonium. Cool. Then it cuts to Betty, and she's like, I just got off the phone with Mary. Mary up here calling and asking about Archie because he's not answering his phone. And they're talking about like where the souls could be. And Heather explains that it's called the sweet hereafter, according to Sabrina. She's like told them this story. And this is interesting because I want to talk to you about this. This is really the time. So now the timelines are kind of synchronized, right? Like before, when we were watching Sabrina, there was like a question of like when that took place
happens. Yeah.
But now it looks like they're making it so like
it's all lined up.
Yeah, it's all lined up now. Yeah.
Can I just say something really quickly here?
Yeah.
It's really funny because when I went back into my Netflix app to like check the episode, it said the sweet hereafter. And I was like, huh? I'm like, oh, this is the episode, because like they kept saying the sweet hereafter. Right, and then I looked, I'm like, oh no, this is season 1. Season 1, episode 13, which is the season finale, was called The Sweet Hereafter.
Stop.
And I was like, how funny is that? That like I by accident I clicked on it and I'm like thinking it's this episode. I was like, no, that's not what it was called. I was like, oh my god, that's so cute.
So crazy. Yeah, that's very interesting that they like brought it all back around.
Yeah.
Anyway. So
especially because it had something to do with Jason and stuff like that, you know. So like there's definitely a connection.
For sure. So then it shows like all of them in their heavens. First it shows Archie, and he's like married to Betty. They have 2 young kids.
So cute. So Lil Fred and Lil Polly.
Lil Fred. And then
why did the caption say like Lil? Like it didn't say little. It said like Lil, like Lil Kim, Lil Fred,
Lil Kim, Lil Polly. She's about to drop a beat. And so then it cuts to Jughead, and he is in his version of heaven, which is him at Pops getting like unlimited burgers, and he's like drawing
eating
comics.
Eating
his face off. One of the things that I thought was interesting was while Archie has Betty in his heaven, Jughead's is like at Pops by himself, like writing comics. Like, where's Tabitha?
It's interesting.
Like, why isn't she?
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, and that's true. Like he's whatever. I'm not gonna dive deep into it, but like it's very interesting that you said that, because I noticed the same thing. I was like, he literally has no one else around him. It's just about him, his burger, and his comics.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see that, because I was like, why would you want to like not be with your significant other at that point? Anyway, because then I'm like, does that mean that she doesn't think that they're endgame? Like, you know what I mean? Like, does he not think that they're like,
it could be, yeah.
You know, like it's a very interesting concept. So then it shows Toni and in her heaven, and she's like signing a peace treaty with the ghoulies, and Fangs is there, and like everyone's grown up. Anthony's grown up.
Yeah, Anthony's like a teenager, like he's really cute, good-looking teenager.
So cute.
So cute.
And then it shows Timmy, the guy that died, I think, on the ghoulie side with the mom, and he's like a grown guy. I don't know. I don't know.
I can't remember who he was.
A grown kid on that side, and they have like a weird like gay moment where they like kind of like look at each other. I was like, I wonder if this is gonna come back, which it does. But at the same time, I was like very confused.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Kevin, and he's trying to leave. He's like getting all his stuff ready, but then obviously Frank stops him as before he's able to leave, and he's like, Percival's looking for you. So I'm like, great. Now Kevin's gonna be a captive. Like, he needs to just kill this man. Just shoot him in the head right now. So then it cuts to Reggie. He's calling up his dad. He's like, yo, dad, like I have the casino come through. Like, you're like gonna live it up now. And this man already, like, I don't know if he already had it ready or what. Like, this portrait was like up in no time.
Yeah, it was
like,
already there.
Painting was ready to go. So anyway, Reggie's like living his best life. Then it cuts to Cheryl, and she opens the door, and it's our girl, Verena. She is coming.
She's like, sorry, I was late. There was turbulence in the air, and my broom doesn't have nos.
She was like, oh my God, the universe is crazy, right? Anyway, so she just comes in with her, like, I love her energy.
Like, she definitely brings another energy to the show.
Completely
like,
different
she
energy.
Doesn't fit really, but like,
yeah.
I do wish they used her more for certain episodes, but I guess it can't always work. Do you know what I mean? So
I guess to some degree there's that, but then also this, I think that just like her personality, she brings like so much levity to like such a dark situation. And I think it has to do with the fact that like she's been dealing with like shit. So like,
and she's very really comic booky. Like, yes, I always think our characters are comic booky, and then she's in that scene with them, and I'm like, she feels fake. Like, Veronica was looking at her like, are you real, girl? Because you don't feel real. So, yeah.
So anyway, she comes through, and we find out kind of what happens to her at her series finale. Huge like opener to like what happened. So if you didn't watch Chaos, like, go watch that
Spoiler
first,
alert.
and then like come back and watch the entire series.
We're gonna say it now.
So
because she does say it.
Yeah, she tells like the whole story. She says that Nick, her boyfriend, sacrificed himself and then met her in the suite hereafter, which is kind of the final scene that we see.
Yes,
her at the museum or whatever.
Finale, yeah.
And then he actually sacrificed himself and brought her back to rebalance the scales. Like, he like got her to leave. So obviously we didn't get that full story at the end of the series, but this is what they're telling us. They asked like, oh, where's Nick now? And she's like, he's still dead. But that's how she got into necromancy. Like, that's why she's like now like this necromancy like master or whatever. Because he was also into necromancy.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, let's move fast. Like, we got to do this quick. And then she goes ahead and like does everything so slowly. She's like, first we do
literally
this, and then we do this. I'm like, girl, you literally were told that you have like less than 10 hours to get this shit done. Like,
and
go.
Because she's like, okay, we need more witchy powers. Yeah. So call your friends. Like, these girls are literally like simps. Like, what are you gonna like do to them? Like, she's like, do you have a broom? Of course you don't. I'm like, because they're not witches. Like, obviously.
She's like, what's wrong with you? You don't have a broom? You want to goddamn
I'm
things?
Like, you have a whole coven full of witches. Call your squad up and let them help you. Like there's no time.
Like call all your
just
girls.
Call Ambrose. Just call one person. Like, I think you could have you're literally like the queen of like, you're like the strongest witch ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why do you need 4 civilians like to help
amateurs, you? Yeah. But I mean, I guess it makes sense because they tie it to like them having to bring them back, whatever.
It was a cute montage, whatever.
Yeah, I'll take it. Fine. So she says,
I didn't get the dancing part though.
I know. I mean, I think that it's like part of like a ritual.
We're on a time
or whatever.
crunch right now.
Yeah, she's like, all powerful, disruptive women have potential to become witches. You need to sign your name in the book of witchcraft. So they put them into the Maleficarum. They pledge allegiance to Hecate, and then they dance around the fireplace, which is basically them.
I love that, like, yeah, I love that, like, Veronica was like the voice of me this whole episode, because every time they said the plan, she's like, what? She's like, we're gonna do that? She's like, you want us to be witches? Like, I was like, yeah, like,
she's like, yeah.
She's like, I'm wearing a power suit. This is not me. I am the she-wolf.
I cannot lay down on this floor and dance. Like,
this doesn't make sense, Veronica.
This is not my look. It's not my clubbing look. Like, we need to switch. So anyway, they do a first test and she's like, let's get one of the bodies out of the corpse. Or get one of the corpse and see if we can open this portal. Then it cuts to, so they have to choose a body first. Then it really quickly cuts to Reggie at the casino with his dad, but his dad's like so excited. He gets so excited that his like chest hurts.
Yeah, he's like, my heart.
She's like, oh my God, my heart. And so then obviously Reggie's still worried about him, even though he's like living his best life. Then it cuts to Sabrina at the morgue and she chooses Jughead over Archie. And she's like,
they're so cute. I was like,
she's like, let's go with this boy. And I think
like,
at that point, like maybe
blue.
she already had known like what she might want to do. Because now that I'm looking back, I'm like, maybe...
oh my God, yeah.
No, I don't think she did. But like, I think that like between the two actors, like he would have played Nick better than Archie playing Nick.
So yeah, you're right. You're right. So this is where it loses me a little bit because why does she need to come to Riverdale to concoct a spell to get her ex-boyfriend back? She could have easily done this from time in Greendale.
Yes, 100%. 100%. And that's the thing. I don't think that she meant to do this. I think it was just like her just being like, oh, I just like want some temporary time with
No, but I know, but like I just wish I wish they had sort of alluded to the fact that like they do this often or like, you know what I mean? Because I was why do you need this moment to do this?
Often. Yeah.
You could have done this from before too. Like you don't need Jughead's body to do this. You need a body to do it, but like you could do this before. So that kind of just felt like a waste. Like it was annoyed me a little bit. I was like, whatever. And like also it just felt very like selfish. So I was like, no.
But I mean, anyway, she kind of has she has some reasons why she brings him back. Anyways, so
why?
Because he's like a necromancer, so he like knows more about that shit, and he kind of gives her some
true. Okay. Yeah.
Like, I'll take it.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'll take that little tiny nugget.
But did he even help her?
Yeah, he like whispered in her ear and said like, don't send Betty.
Yeah, that's all he did.
That's all he did. Really.
He's like, she doesn't spell right. Like, you can't use her.
Like she's stinky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So anyway, she chooses Jughead. And then she goes on to tell the girls that like, she can't force him to come through. Like when they're in heaven, like she'll go meet him and stuff, but she can't necessarily like grab him and like pull him back. Like he needs to come on his own volition. And so they're like, okay, cool. So she walks into his like heavenscape and she talks to Jughead. And just really quickly, I want to shout out to the fact that they put her in like the classic old school Sabrina outfit because like Kiernan Shipka has never looked better in my opinion. Like she looked gorgeous. I loved like the look that they gave her. Anyway, I was living for it.
They gave her a moment for sure.
Yeah,
like
they
this,
gave her a moment for sure. Yeah, she looked great.
It was a strong moment.
And so she's asking if he wants to come back, and he's like, you know what? I'm good here. Like basically I'm in heaven, literally. So I'm so much better. And he does make some really good points. He's like, you know what? Tabitha told me that like the wars are pretty bad and like I'm probably gonna die anyway. So like why bother?
Yeah.
Like, why bother coming back? And I'm gonna see her at some point. Like whenever she dies, like I'll come see her too. So for him, there's no like reason for him to come back.
No,
and I was like, fair point.
No, for sure. Like it didn't make sense. What I didn't understand was it seemed like they didn't remember their past life. But then when she mentions Tabitha, he's like, oh yeah, like I do miss her. So I was like, oh, so he does remember his past life.
He remembers. He's real good. And
because Archie didn't remember it. Archie was like, no, this is the real world. And she's like, no, this isn't it.
I think with like Toni and Fangs, like and Archie, their minds were like, this is real. Like that's not real. This is real. Whereas with Jughead, he knew what had happened, and he. Do you think
that has something to do with the Riverdale aspect and how there's like two Jugheads?
Like he knows more than they
maybe because that was weird to me that he knew. Yeah. He kind of sort of knew that what had happened, but the others had no idea. They were just living their existence like there.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good point. I didn't notice that until just now.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's a really good call out. So then she's like, okay, fine. If you don't want to come back, fair. Like, I can't force you. And she says, like, can I ask you for a favor? All right. So whatever. cuts really quickly to Percival basically like tormenting Kevin, trying to get into his mind. Asks like him what the like force him to tell them what the whole gang is up to. Kevin's like trying to like root himself in like all his good memories. He had like maybe like a millisecond of a redeeming moment, remembering like the good times. I was
literally
like,
the pilot episode.
Yeah, I was like, okay, like maybe I still kind of like Kevin, but I was still very annoyed by him. But like, did he have any redeeming moments for you this episode?
It's hard, right? Because I do feel like he did. I feel like it's just a little too late. It's a little too raw.
Yeah.
And like, it's like too many things happened. And then all of a sudden there was an episode where he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm taking everything back. I don't want your baby anymore. I'm going to go here. I was like, I'm like shell shocked. I'm like, dude, you spent an entire season being a waste man. And now in one episode, you just flip, which is exactly what we said was going to happen. It just doesn't feel organic. And that's what I don't like about it. But when I look at it, when I do look at it, I'm like, yeah, like he did try to come through for his friends, you know, but whatever.
Like, whatever.
Whatever.
This guy. So then it cuts to Sabrina, and she comes back with Jughead. Tabitha right away like hugs him. She's like, "Oh my god, Jughead, you're back."
She's like, "My baby," and he's like, "I'm not." And he's your baby.
"I'm not your baby." And she's like, "So I borrowed his body so I can bring back Nick because he like knows necromancy, and I also wanted." She was very transparent though. She wasn't like being shady.
Like she has to be at this point because she's like about to kiss him.
Yeah, she was like, and "I just wanted to spend some time with my boyfriend."
She's like, "Do you have a spare room upstairs, Cheryl? Because like I'd love to like take a break." And everyone's like looking at her like Veronica again. Veronica's face was like, "This
She's like,
bitch,
go do work. Like, what is wrong with you?
You have a job to do right now."
Like, go basic woman. And it's funny because one of my
like Buffy
lines,
would never. Buffy would never. And that's what I'm saying. Like Sabrina is so entitled and like selfish. Like you need to save the world. Like, do you know what Buffy had to do to freaking save the world? This girl like lives in like solitude and loneliness and probably didn't get the D for like 4 seasons because she needed to save the world. This bitch is over here. She can't even like help these people save the universe. And she's like, I need to go on a date right now. Like
she's been there for 5 seconds and she's like, let me just bring back my boyfriend so I can like hang out with him.
To me, it's not giving like queen savior of the universe. Energy. It's giving like teenager girl.
I mean, yeah, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Like,
which I get. I totally get that. But they elevated her so much so quick. And that's what we always talked about in our chaos recaps too. Like they elevated her so fast and she was like this crazy character, but still like the contrast, she was like a little girl in like high school, which we love that like duality, but sometimes it doesn't always give off the right energy.
I was
like whatever, it's her episode. Let her
because like it wasn't super detrimental to like the plot point this season or this episode.
I mean, I love the guy that played Nick Scratch, so I was really hoping they brought him back in some sort of like way, but
I will say that Cole Sprouse did a great job channeling him.
He did.
Like giving that kind of like the smoky,
it was funny when
side eye.
He came out and then he was like, "Hey ladies." And then Betty's like, "Yeah, that's not Jughead."
She's like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely not Jughead." Because like Jughead would never. So then it turns out that they temporarily have to die to cross over to get back to their people.
Again, Veronica's like,
Veronica's like,
"You're gonna kill me?"
She's like, "I am a witch now because I have superpowers."
She was so upset. She's like, "We're gonna have to burn to save." Like Veronica was just not down. She was like, "I don't want to be in this episode." Like,
she's like, "Just take me out of it.
Get me out of the credits."
So everyone kind of like says like who they're gonna go with. Betty's like, "I'm gonna go get Archie."
I did feel sorry for her. I did.
I mean, of course you feel sorry for her. Like she's of course like definitely like
it was hard because I was like, but she doesn't have anyone.
And I know why they didn't do that, but it would have been cute if they were like, "Oh, Veronica and Betty, you bring him back," as like maybe
like go together.
Help. Go together. That'd be cute.
Totally.
But obviously it makes sense as to why they didn't do that.
Now.
So everyone's going with whoever. Cheryl's gonna go bring back like Toni and like Nana Rose and like Fangs. She's like, and Fangs, I guess. She's like, okay, fine.
She's like, if I ruin my car, but if not, I'm not bringing it back.
And also, I didn't know that the kid died too. What's his name?
Which kid?
Dagwood.
Is that who that was? Because I was trying to figure out who the hell that was.
I know. I only realized at the end of the episode.
When did Dagwood?
Little child.
Oh, because he's the firstborn.
He's the firstborn. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I didn't even care. Like, I didn't even know why he had to die. But okay, cool.
Yeah, like so random.
So then as soon as that happens, obviously we just talked about it, Nick kind of whispers over to Sabrina and says like Betty can't go because she's stinky. Turns out that Betty's like kind of cursed or marked or hexed with
she was like
the harlot.
They're like, do you have some? Yeah, like she was like, do you have something like on you? And she's like, no, I'm good. Like I'm not like anything. She's like, but like, did anything happen to you like recently?
Yeah.
And then Betty was like
call you something?
Yeah. And Betty's like, actually, yeah, like I've been labeled as the what was it? The heart
Babylon.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, that's it.
Yep. She's like, right, yep.
She's like, you cannot go back into heaven.
That'll do it.
That title.
Like, the harlot would never. And like,
which made sense to me. I was like, I buy that.
It made sense, but at the same time, I like after watching the whole episode, I was like, they never got back to that story, and it would have been
maybe they will. Maybe
but
it
would have been a great opportunity if Sabrina, the teenage witch who knows all this shit about like the Babylon.
Well, you know what, Jay, like if she wasn't so busy dating her dead boyfriend, maybe she could have given some insight on to who that girl is. How about that?
That's tea. That's like, fair. That's so true. That's so
You're
true.
right. At that moment, it would have been nice for her to be like, this is who this person is. These are her like character traits. Like, this is what she's about.
And this is like what she's going to do for this storyline.
Yeah.
And I just
now you're like
I'm starting to poke all the holes in now. So one of the things that I also realized is literally Sabrina says to Jughead to try to get him back. She's like, you need to come back because we have you have to save the world, and like it's the end of the world battle. I'm like, so you're not gonna stay. Like you're the
leaving?
Most powerful witch of all time is gonna just leave after this? Like,
so you're not going to be part of it. Yeah.
Like cool.
Do you think she will be though? Do you think she'll?
I actually don't.
Like she's gone after this.
I think that she's gone after this, and like that's what kind of frustrated me too, because I was like, why would they bring such an all-powerful character? I know she does her job in this episode, but also like she doesn't kind of do her job.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
she
like
doesn't do anything.
She doesn't kind of do her job, and at the same time, I'm also just like, but then you don't even like you are literally like the god of all gods, like witch power style. Like you can just like destroy Percival and call it a day.
Yeah, and that's when these plot points start to like falter a little bit, because it's like, okay, you clearly have this strong ass witch character in your universe. Why wouldn't she be a part of this? Why wouldn't have she even been alerted about Percival's activities? Like if there's like that kind of evilness like next door to your town, you would have been like, oh, I've been feeling some weird shit, like this is why I came over.
Exactly.
Like they should have connected it better. And I also feel like Heather was like LVP this episode, because like she doesn't even refer to Heather at all. Like she didn't see like, this is my girl Heather. Oh, I know how powerful she is. Like we've done spells before. Like there was no connection to that whatsoever. They could have been two strangers, and I would have just been like, yeah, that's what it is.
And that's why I was kind of frustrated that like I'm glad they brought back Kieran Shipka, but like I feel like they should have had her come for a little bit longer. Like give us more time with her. Why did she have to like, I know it would be different if she was like, guys, I only have 12 hours because then I have to like run to another universe. I was just gonna say that they could have just said that, and I would have believed it. It was more urgent. But instead she's like, okay, thanks, peace. I'm like, no, but your job did like can you stay and help us like beat this guy? Like what? You're just gonna leave us? She could have even said like Heather's got this. I've worked with her before. Like she knows what she's doing from here on out. Like anything. But like again, like they just I don't know. There's a lot of different things that I ask, and it's the thing with Riverdale where I feel like they get these promos up for us and they get us all excited about like what's happening in the episode. They like get us excited. I'm like, oh my God, Kieran Shipka, she's coming back. Sabrina's coming back. And then the longer you look and the longer you like take focus as to what's happening, you're like poking holes. You start to realize but this doesn't really make sense. Like, why are you bringing her back just for this? Like, it don't make no sense.
Don't get me wrong. We both enjoyed it, but again, and like what we always say is like these things could be solved by very, very short, quick like lines in the dialogue to establish like a deeper connection between the two universes. Like the one universe. Sorry, there's not even two universes. It's one universe, two towns. So it's like I don't understand why they miss on these points, and like that just to me shows like the writing is just, there's something missing with the writing, because
I know
it could have been easily solved and we would have been like, yeah, I'm good with that. Like, I'm cool.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I didn't need 3 episodes of Sabrina. To your point, she could have easily been like, guys, I gotta go. Like, there's something else happening here that like it needs
give us attention. A good reason as to why she can't be there.
Go.
Yeah,
it's
like just close all the holes.
Yeah,
like, you're opening up all these holes. You need to close them back up.
Yeah, I know. They just
So anyway, getting back to the storyline, Veronica has to instead go to get Archie. So that was a kind of funny moment because I was like, oh, like here comes some drama.
So she's like, I have to go back to heaven to get my ex-boyfriend and bring him back.
She's like, cool.
She's like, She's like,
I'm so excited about this plan, y'all.
Again, I think this is just lending to the idea of this whole BARCHie endgame thing. This is how they sort of pivoted.
Struggle. The back and forth. Yeah. So then it cuts to Percival, and he wants Reggie to kill Kevin. He's like, you know what? This is what you're like next thing. Like this is your next mission. And Reggie's like, yo, like we've known each other since we were kids. Like I don't know about that idea. And he says, like, actually, there's like more in it for you as well. I will save your dad and give him basically like Kevin's heart.
Yeah.
Because I know that he's dying. So like now Reggie's like stuck in a pretty sticky situation. I was like,
and I could tell from his face though. He wasn't sold on it. Like he was like, dude, this is going too far. Like,
yeah, for sure. So then it cuts to Nick, and he starts the spell to like temporarily kill the girls while they cross over. So they like cross over, and then the demon Karen comes through. She's like, I need to speak to your manager. She like grabs the bodies and then she like goes. So they all get out of their bodies and the souls like cross over. And then as they're leaving, Sabrina like literally turns to Betty and is like, so is there like a cute place that we can have some dinner? Like I'd love to spend some time with like my boyfriend. Like to your point, like eye roll. Like what are we doing here?
I literally thought she was gonna say like, can we go eat all together? Like let's talk this out. And then she's like, I need some alone time. I was like, this is really happening. Like
it would have been really cool if she was like, let me catch you up on like what's gonna happen with the harlot of Babylon and what your role is gonna be in this big battle.
It was
like,
just
it could have been literally anything.
Yeah. The taste was not good. It was not.
It was not delicious. It was not mucho bueno.
It was not delicious. No, those meatballs. So I just didn't like it. It just the timing is not the right time because like you haven't even solved the thing yet. Like if they had solved and then she was like, okay, can I just have like a quick moment with him? Okay, like that's fine. But like you're in the thick of it.
Yeah,
you're not taking this seriously, girl. Like you're really not.
It felt very like Sabrina, like dumb Sabrina being dumb, like dumb like child teenager.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Veronica, and she sees Archie in heaven, and she like gives him a big hug, and he's like, "Oh my God, hi! Like you live down the street, cool." It's funny because like she is also in his like heaven, like, in the periphery,
but like not in his house. But she's like down the road,
not sleeping in his bed. So she catches him up. I'm sure all the Varchies were like gonna be like, "Oh my God, she was still in his heaven." Like,
yeah, like how many houses down was she leaving from? Like around the street, or like 4 houses down,
or was she living in New York? Like, give it a break. So she catches him up and she tells him like, this fight is not over yet. We still need to fight. And he's like, the thing that kills me is Archie's so stupid. He thinks that he's in the real world. Like he's so dumb.
But he does. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's the thing. Like they don't remember their past life. Like,
but I just love the fact that
I don't understand why they don't remember it.
Yeah, and I think to your point,
I could tell that like. What? Hopefully they answer that question. But I just loved how like Veronica's face was like, to me it just came off as like, fuck, like this is such a cute like world. Like he has like his house, and then like when Betty comes, she's like, fuck, like he's married to her too, and they have kids. Like, God damn it, this is good. This is a good afterlife.
Yeah, she's like,
God, they're so cute.
Dad, you got it. Yeah. It's so funny. So Veronica,
and he's like, Veronica, he's like, you live down the road. She's like, that's on me. She's like, that's on me though.
Me in this power suit. This is me. In this pink power suit, I am the She-Wolf of Wall Street. So then she goes on to say, like, she begs him one last time. She's like, this is not real. You need to come back.
Yeah.
I just remember, like, Archie's so stupid just in general. And, like, just having him dead in this world. And, like,
he's like, Lil Fred and Lil Polly need us. She's like, who?
She's like, you are not an adult, you idiots. You do not have children. Look at your body. Like, what? So, I obviously wrote this down knowing
it would have been really sweet if his dad was there too. Like if he said, my dad's here.
Yeah, if you like mentioned
got
it,
chills.
even like he was like hanging out in the back.
Because that pull would be really hard. Like,
oh yeah, that would.
But I guess we got that from Cheryl's side of like, you know, people that have died in our family.
People have passed, yeah, for sure. I did write down Veronica being the one to bring him back. Should Barchie be worried? Yes, obviously. Like I wrote that down.
I don't think it was as worrisome as the ending scene with Tabitha.
Yeah, for sure. But I think even like the symbolism of her being I also thought that she was gonna successfully bring him back, but she doesn't. Like if he was like, I'll follow you. Like then I would have been like, oh.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. Yeah, I thought at first when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, Betty's gonna go in, he doesn't come. The when she goes in, he comes out. What does that say to you?
Yeah.
Like that would have been really profound, more than just Tabitha being like, you're like half together and then half not.
Yeah, like thank you.
I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was like
Anyway, so then it cuts to Cheryl. She comes to see Fangs and Toni. And they're still, the thing that killed me the most is like, your version of heaven is still living in that busted ass fucking janky ass fucking apartment. Like, what is wrong with you?
Even in heaven, Fangs can't get a job. Like, he can't. It's like one salary.
Like simple life over here, like just living their best life in this tiny ass apartment with their like grown adult fucking child.
Yeah, he was like a full out teenager. Like,
I'm like, okay,
so cool, he comes home.
Yeah, he comes home. He's like, Timmy and I are getting married, and they're like, okay, cool.
I was like, bro, aren't you like 13? Like, what? They didn't need to get married. He could have just been like, guys, he's like, I have a boyfriend. Like, I would have been like, okay, cool. Like,
yeah. Anyway, fine. They're happy. They're happy parents. Cool, all good. And then Cheryl obviously is like, she literally like record scratches the whole scene. She's
the
like,
sound effect killed me.
Yeah, she walks in. She tells them the whole situation. And it turns out even in this heaven specifically, Polly and Jason are married in their world as well, which I didn't really understand. Yeah. Like, are all of their heavens like connected? Like, does that mean that like
it's like they're in the same place?
I know what you mean. Yeah. Like, okay, cool. Because then I was kind of confused because I'm like, then Betty's not real, but like Polly is real, but they're all in the same area.
True.
Like, I was kind of confused because I'm like, if you're going in for Toni and anyway, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't.
So they're married in this world, and she just tries to convince Toni one last time. She's like, just think about it, like think about your wedding, think about all these things. She's like, no, we went like to the Poconos after, like on our honeymoon. We were good. But anyway, Toni kind of like she leaves Toni with kind of like a skeptical face. Like Toni's now gonna like look into it, which I kind of liked because going back to this whole idea of like CHONI, like CHONI does, like Cheryl does kind of technically have the ability to like coerce her to like bring her back, which is like the cosmic connection that they might have.
And we had a very interesting reaction from Fangs that I don't think I've ever seen him react this way. He was like, shut up, Cheryl. He's like, you should try to break me and Toni up. Like, dude, I was like,
it's like,
what?
Whoa, someone's like, got some feelings.
Yeah, it's been like how many years, bro? You have like a teenager now. Like, you're still salty about that?
Yeah.
Like, geez.
Legitimately. So anyway, and he says like, yeah, you tried to break up like Polly and Jason's wedding. I'm like, in your heavens, she went and ruined someone else's wedding. Like,
but they're still together. He's like, you failed because they're still together. Like, he was so angry. I was like,
it was a very weird thing to like bring up. Anyway, so then it shows Tabitha walking into Jughead's heaven. It's in Pops, and she sees him like living his best life signing comics because I guess he like created a
he's
comic
like famous now.
He's famous in fucking heaven. And so she's like, okay, I'm just gonna like let him like do his thing for a minute. I'm gonna chill at this table. She sits down at the table, and Raphael, her guardian angel, comes through one more time. This man like just keeps popping up. So he ends up telling her like, hey girl, I am your guardian angel, Raphael, and I have something to tell you. So we learn about that at the end. We'll talk about that after. Then it cuts to Cheryl, and she goes to visit Polly and Jason, and she sees like Dagwood, and is it Dagwood or Juniper?
I really thought it was the end of those actors, and I was like, damn, they're back.
I was like, they really done bring their back. Like even Polly like had like
that's what I'm saying
and stuff. I was like, okay, girl.
Like they killed Polly off the show and they didn't even have her on. Like that's how out she was, and now they brought her back for this.
They brought her. She's been in more like memories than like in real life. Like at this
at this point.
So she sees Nana's like chilling in the background. And it's so funny because at one point, like Cheryl's like so happy to see them. She's like, it's so good to see you both like thriving. She's like, I miss you both so much. I was like, were her and Polly even like friends?
I know. Life? I was like, for a minute, I was like, do you know what you're talking
since
to?
when? I was
and
like,
Jason still doesn't talk. Like he's just like nodding his head.
I know. Like in heaven, he's a mute. Like clearly, like,
he's always. He doesn't even say anything.
He like doesn't even speak to his own sister. So Polly's like, girl, you can stay too, like chill and hang out. Like we can all be here together.
She's like, the maple business is thriving. She's like we have maple everywhere.
We're billionaires. So anyway, Cheryl's like, okay, well, I gotta go. So then it cuts to Sabrina and like Nick / Jughead talking at the restaurant. And she's like, Nick, let's just run away. Like we don't have to be here, whatever. And Nick is obviously like, girl, like death is gonna come for us. Like you know that it's gonna happen. Like we cannot do that.
Can't. Yeah, we
and
won't
also
last
like
long.
what, you're gonna leave your aunties, you're gonna leave this, you're gonna leave this. I'm like, how about you're leaving the fact that Riverdale's about to fucking implode on itself?
See,
like, maybe
do you know she's literally talking about running away. What kind of heroine are you? Like
you were boring a body from a dead person.
Yeah,
and you're hoping that it's all gonna just like work out. Anyway, she does talk about something very interesting that we kind of didn't get an opportunity to really have a conversation about. Is she is upset with Nick and the aunties for bringing her back in the first place. She's like, I'm still upset with you guys for bringing me back. And he basically says like, we needed you, like you needed, like the world needed you, we needed to, like you needed to be back, like you were important. So it's an interesting thing for us to hear that she also, just like I guess the rest of them, had to be like coerced into like coming back into the real world. So anyway, they have that little moment, and then it shows Reggie and his dad.
By the way, their kiss was so disgustingly awkward between Cole Sprouse and Kiernan. Tell me you didn't notice that. It was gross. Like I was like, oh, like it, like he went in for the kiss, but like he was like, and she was like, and I was like, why is it so awkward? Like it looks gross. Why did you even make them force each other to kiss? Like just, you know what I mean?
They had to, I guess, because like that's her boyfriend.
Oh my god, it was so awkward.
Like it was so weird. So anyway, then it cuts to Reggie and his dad having dinner. Everybody out here having dinner. And Reggie basically says, like, I have this big plan, like I'm gonna move you up the list, like you're gonna get a new heart, whatever. And his dad essentially like says, like, I've kind of like come to my own terms with this. I want to die like with some dignity. He's like, I know all the things that I've done, and he's like, I've done this like to your mom and you. He's like, I just want to go out like he basically
like, the way
says like, I'm ready to die, which I was like that's a pretty big thing.
Huge,
to say. So obviously now Reggie's kind of like, okay, cool. I guess like I gotta like
honor his wishes.
Like he's like stuck. So then it cuts to Nick and Sabrina, and they have another final moment because like all the birdies are like popping up on the windowsill, and they're like, we're coming for you, bitch.
So if you guys remember in Chaos, if you didn't watch it, those little birds, like the more that would come, it means like your time is running up. Like you have to like exit like your whatever you are like, in. Yeah. So like if you see one bird, you're like, okay, it's happening. And then all of a sudden they start like coming and you're like, oh shit.
You're like they're
time's up.
For you. Yeah.
I like how they brought that into it.
They brought it back around. Yeah, I did love that for sure. So they're at the morgue. She gives him a fine, like they do. I don't know if they kiss, they like hug, whatever. And then he lies down and then he's gone. Yeah. I thought it was a sweet moment.
She kissed. Yeah, it was. It was.
Considering that it wasn't like really him, we finally kind of get like a final moment with her and Nick and Sabrina. Cool. Then it cuts to really quickly, just a quick pause. I know that we keep talking about how selfish she is. It's like she took over the episode to tell the rest of her story.
That's like what it was, though. That's what it was.
The writers did it so like she had her final moment.
I think that's what it was.
Okay, fine. As a Chaos fan, I'm getting a little bit of closure, but like as a Riverdale fan, like these bitches are left like high and dry. Like you didn't give us like what we needed for the Riverdale characters. Anyway, whatever.
I didn't need closure though to Sabrina. Like that was the closure.
A little bit of me did. I did kind of enjoy the experience, like having this moment. But like I said, over 2 episodes, this would have been more enjoyable because then at least there's more time given and like you feel like it's. But like the fact that like you only have like 1 episode and she only literally is on screen for like 20 minutes. So like realistically, like why are you doing your own storyline when we have shit to do in this world? So
and like I liked barely even did anything.
Yeah. Anyways, cutting to Reggie, and he's like really trying to figure out what to do. He's like at a loss. He's like really stuck. And then he hears his own voice, and it turns out that it's his dummy, the dummy that's been like sitting there, like doing God knows what, like basic nothing, this whole time. And he's telling him like, I'm your conscience. You can't kill Kevin. This is what you're gonna do. Like, this is what you always do. Like, come up with some scheme, take your dad, take Kevin, and just like run, like book it and get the fuck out of there. So he's like, okay, cool. Then it cuts to all the girls, and like they're all like basically like, we couldn't get them back. We just didn't work out for us. Didn't work out for us. Didn't work out for us. And so then Sabrina's like, okay, this is like plan B/C. Cheryl, you are like super duper important. And she's like, I know I'm a pyrokinetic.
No, but the way she phrased it, she was like, okay, so this is gonna be plan C. So now we can't ask them to come. We have to pull them out of this area and bring them back. Yeah. And then Heather's like, oh, but this might be a little bit dangerous because she's like, they might be fragmented and like they might lose parts of themselves. She's like, yeah, so we're going to have to do it this way. Okay. I'm not going to do it though.
She's like,
and everyone's like, what? And she's like, it's going to be Cheryl.
Cheryl's going to
And Veronica's like, this bitch. Like, she's like, this lazy ass bitch. Like, lazy ass and bitch. I was like, you made it to this point and you're not gonna like fulfill the last, like you're gonna make Cheryl do it. Granted, that whole part with Cheryl was amazing, so but I would have loved if like they did it together. Like otherwise it's like, why are you here? Like you
didn't do anything really. Yeah. You just like gave us knowledge. But it was, anyway, I did live for like the Cheryl Blossom moment. But as you're talking about Sabrina more and more, I'm like, wow, she really did not do anything this episode.
Like
she literally did nothing.
I watched it again quickly, and she's like, "I am the Death Walker. I am the Necromancer Queen." I was like, "You literally didn't even do anything, though. Like you made Cheryl do it."
Yeah.
Like.
So one of the things that Heather does say, she's like, the downside of bringing them back is they might come back unwillingly. Their souls can get infected or feel incomplete, or they might hate the person for bringing them back. So like. All of these things I kept thinking, I was like, who could all these attributes like be connected to? Like feeling incomplete could go to Archie. Like Archie might feel
100%. I was just gonna say that
complete anymore, whatever. Or it could go like it could go to anyone.
It could go to anyone. I don't think it'll work. So I think with Toni, I think it's gonna be geared towards Fangs. I think she's gonna like realize that like Fangs isn't like her
the one for her
soulmate. I feel like she's gonna be like, Cheryl came for me in the afterlife and like got me back. Like that's how I feel like theirs is gonna go. I feel like for Archie it's gonna be like the same kind of thing. It's gonna be like Veronica came to get me, and like maybe he'll be sort of like split, which is totally a reflection of like that whole triangle.
The triangle,
and then I don't know about Jughead.
Yeah, I don't know about Jughead. He just got his hearing back, so I was like, okay, cool. I guess something's wrong with you. But even going back to like Fangs, like maybe you might come back like super duper gay and like just like want to be with Kevin.
No, like, I don't think the onus will be on Fangs. I think the onus will be on Toni. I think she will be like, she's like, no, I think like I have a deeper connection with Cheryl. Like that's
fair.
You know what I mean? So we'll see.
I'm interested to see how that all plays out. So anyway, then it cuts to the Babylonium. Reggie's trying to run. Obviously, he fails miserably. It was kind of cute though, because like I just love watching Charles Melton try to kick a can at people and just like call it a day. But that's what happens, and he gets caught by Frank, who's a piece of. Anyway, I don't even want to.
You can't. Right now.
Don't have time. So then it cuts to Cheryl, and she starts her Phoenix power, which I fucking loved. I was living for this entire moment. I love magic. And
I love magic.
She like basically like burns people.
Rise
the interesting
up.
Thing is the interesting thing that I realize is like 3 out of the 4 of them, or I guess 2 out of the 4 of them, realize that they need to go back. Like Archie realizes he has to go back before she brings him back.
Right.
He's like wearing his army uniform, and he's like talking to Betty, and he's like, Veronica said I gotta go back. I gotta go back.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I feel really hot. Like, do you feel hot? Yeah. I'm feeling really sweaty. And then
because they have to burn their bodies. They're burning the actual bodies.
Yeah. So then Toni like realizes too, and she's like flipping through her book, and she's like, there are no pictures after our wedding. Like, what happened? Like, is this a lie? And then she like looks over to Fangs and she's like, oh my God, it's real hot in here too.
Yeah.
And then finally like all the like bodies go on fire. They go blue. And I think there is an actual
Jughead's like sweating.
Flying phoenix.
Yeah, there was a flying phoenix. Through.
And then they all come back. They all come out of like the fire and like they're all good to go. That's when I saw Dagwood / Juniper. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this little child? Like, did one of them turn into a child? Because I did not realize like that he even died in the first place. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cuts to Sabrina. She's like, I'm glad they're all back, but like, be careful. She tells this to Cheryl specifically. She's like, I'm glad everyone's back, but like death doesn't like to be cheated, so be very careful.
Like, how about you let us know that before we just did this freaking spell?
I know. Like, thanks for giving us the caviat at the very end.
She's like your luck may run out and the universe will come back for you. Bye. I was like, do you want to stick around and make sure we're good? Like, and you brought your boyfriend back. Man. Are we gonna have to pay for your little thing there?
Oh man, I don't know. This is such a mess. Like, she is literally
fucking messy, bro. She's
messy, man. She didn't do shit all, and she's coming out here and she's like, "Okay, peace, love ya. Be careful, because death is gonna come for you again." Yeah. So bye. Like, what? So
I was like, unhinged. I was so like her. I was like.
Oh man, that's so funny. So then it cuts to Jughead and he's talking to Tabitha, and then it turns out that he can hear again. He's like, sick, I can hear again, amazing. And she's like, oh my God, maybe your body got reset and now you can hear again.
Yeah, like they turned you on and off again and now you're good.
I was like, must be nice, all the deaf people are like, wow, you just like got it back. You were deaf for 3 seconds and you
okay, but explain why explain what he said after that, because maybe that has something to do with it.
And then he remembers that he's like, before I like died in the bunker, there was another Jughead in the bunker.
Yeah.
And then Tabitha's like, bah! Like she was gagged too.
So what does that mean?
What does that mean? Is the Jughead still down there? Is he writing the book for him? Like in Riverdale now? Like, is the Riverdale version like doing double time work and doing like writing on both sides? Like, I don't know. And also, when they found his body in the bunker, was he alone or was the other Jughead there?
I guess he wasn't there. Yeah, because then she would have seen him there.
She would have seen him, yeah.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Heather and Cheryl and they're debriefing. She's like, you know, I really wish that like people could have like another chance. I got to see Polly and I got to see this. And Heather's like, I know. It's like hard. It's hard to see like those people. And then she's like, so I brought him back. And then she like literally like
Heather's they all walked through and Heather's was like, oh my God. She's like, I need to get out of here.
She's like, get me out of here. This girl is
this girl is crazy.
She is too much.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you, Cheryl? Literally.
I mean, I understand it, but like, why bring everyone back?
You
like
literally brought every single effing person back. You brought your brother and Polly. You don't even like Polly that much. Like, you don't even
I mean, obviously this is gonna have repercussions. So
100%. But the annoying thing is like we're getting to like the final battle. It would have been more fun if you brought them back for like the fight. Like you brought them back so they can fight, or if they had powers or something. They're like two couple. Like,
they're like civilians.
Yeah,
anymore. Exactly. Yeah,
like I'm over it. Like I don't need to see.
And like maybe Nana's time was to go. Like maybe that's okay.
Yeah,
this poor woman's like, you brought me back, bro. Like
like
I'm tired.
Like, the director is like, she's like, no, like I thought you were literally writing me off the show. Like I need to sleep now. Like I'm done with the show. Jesus. So that like, and that's the thing. I'm just like. Of course I'm happy to see them, but I'm also kind of like not happy to see them because
no. I mean, underneath it all, like, of course, in your heart, you're like, yeah. Would you bring back someone that you could if you had the power to? Yeah,
absolutely, I would.
But then it's like, what are the repercussions of that, and how is that going to come back to you? So.
And I think just in general, this in terms of the storyline, I was like, I don't know if I needed this for right now.
I think to your point, I don't think the timing is right because like we are heading into like a season finale and like a huge battle. Where are they going to fit in all of that? It's kind of random.
chill in the corner and take care of the kid, like twins now? Like, what's the deal with that situation?
Yeah.
And then also I'm just like, are they just bringing them back so they can be in the series finale, like when it's over?
I have
like,
no idea.
I was like, and then what are they gonna do for a full season? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what's happening now. But like, essentially she's cheating death, and like maybe their final, like maybe the series finale is gonna be like them like running away from death. Like maybe that's gonna be like the Riverdale series finale storyline. Anyway, cuts to Tabitha and Veronica talking, and we got some information today. She's
and this
like,
was really cute.
Yeah, she's like,
because Tabitha was like,
on you.
Hey,
she's like, you're probably fucking lonely because that was fucking tough for you to have to do. She's like, yeah, I'm so lonely, and I know that like Betty, like Archie and Betty now are endgame, but also she's like, I'm basically like over it, like I'm done. And Tabitha's like,
but I thought she was already over it. Like,
she's like over it. She's like double over it now. And so one of the things that she ends up saying to Veronica is, you know, it is true Archie and Betty are endgame, but also there is the same amount of like timelines where you and Archie are also endgame. Your romantic future is up for grabs. And I was like,
I hated that.
Tabitha, really? You done said that? Why'd you say that?
It's not the fact that she said it, because I understand why she told her. She was like, she felt bad for her, and she's like, in some universes, like, yeah, he is. She could have said, like, in some universes, you have another great love. Like, that would have been, like, hopeful for Veronica, too, and not make her feel so lonely. But then she went and said, your relationship is up for grabs. I was like, okay, that seems like very, like, I don't see Tabitha saying that, and that felt like a very writer's making Tabitha say that to fucking, like, cause a fire in this universe.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate the way she said that last line, because I think they could have said it all and said it in a really nice way, and I would have been okay with that. And of course I would have been like, oh, like they're half cool. But her like her lighting that fire, I was like, I don't appreciate that.
I don't appreciate that. And also like what Veronica really needs to come to terms with is, in this particular universe, you are not meant to be. So like get over yourself. Get over the whole situation, why it's more, and move on.
It's
like, I don't know.
It's more than just her being with Archie. It's about her finding her happiness. That's what it all should be about. It shouldn't be like, who do I end up with? Like, why are we still on that? Like,
I don't need a man. You know what I mean? Like, go be a boss. Like, I don't know.
Or she can have Archie, but like, again, like I was saying, like Tabitha could be like, in half of them you have another great love, and in the other half you have Archie. Like, it just sounds a bit more hopeful. And it doesn't sound so like, you know, conniving. It was just like, your ship is up for grabs. Like, shut up.
And I also just don't know like what the end game is in general for like what they're gonna do with Archie, Betty, and Veronica. Like, what do they want to tell? What story do they want to tell at this point?
Exactly. Yeah.
Considering like how much we care about Barchie, how much I guess we should only speak for ourselves. I am very invested in Barchie. I'm invested in like Betty and Archie being together and getting married. And like, just quickly talk, I think we even maybe missed a scene where Betty, actually I missed a scene. Betty and Archie have a moment where he's like being married to you.
Oh my God, totally.
Heaven.
It was so cute.
And it was so cute. And so like you see a scene like that and then you hear this shit that's like fucking homewrecker garbage. And I'm just like, I don't know if I appreciate that for this storyline. Like, let us just be happy with one of them. Like, why does it need to have the comic book tug, push, and pull?
Which, by the way, in the game? RAS preached that he would never do the love triangle aspect of this. And so far, it hasn't felt like that, because Veronica has been like in her own world, and like she was with Reggie, and like she really didn't feel no ways about Betty and Archie being together, because it is a flash forward. So it hasn't really felt like a complete, like a love triangle in that sense.
Right.
If they're going that way, I don't know. To me, I stand behind everyone finding their own happiness. It's not necessarily like Barchie needs to win or Varchie needs to win, or like, as long as people end up happy and they find their great love and they find a love, like, who cares? Like, should be the message behind all of this.
Yeah. For sure.
But for you to pit them against each other, like, now it's like, it's very weird to me, and it's very like a conniving like play on on using like the ship fandom to like spark some shit, and it just feels very weak to me.
Yeah, I agree. Especially like you said, at this stage in the game, we don't need that.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Percival. He has Reggie, his dad, and Kevin, and he's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to kill all three of you now. He locks them up, and then Reggie's like, oh, he thinks he got us? I actually stole a dagger. I'm gonna kill this man with this dagger. I'm like, okay, cool. So like,
but it might be, but maybe it might be like the Arya Stark dagger. Like it might be that one dagger that kills him. You know?
Die. Yeah. Die. Spoiler alert. If you didn't watch that, that's your fault. So then it cuts to Tabitha visiting Toni and Fangs and checking in. And we do find out that baby Anthony cannot die because he is immortal. Interesting storyline.
Yeah.
And then Tabitha goes on to say that she is Riverdale's guardian angel, which I called like 17 episodes.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Like,
I just feel like when she went through that whole thing with the timeline, and even before that, like the fact that she had like a specific guardian angel the whole time, I'm like, she's being trained. Like they are.
But
she even mentioned
when you're a guardian angel, like what's your job? Like,
I guess to watch over the town and like.
But are you immortal too? Like, is she immortal? Like,
I guess to a degree she could be immortal. Yeah. Like maybe, and then maybe that is going to be the situation that's going to. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
And like maybe that's what breaks up her and Jughead, because she's like, I don't really exist here. I'm kind of just like this overarching.
I need to like or yeah, maybe she's like, I need to go and do like other timelines now. Yeah. Like now that this one's fixed, I have to go to the other ones and fix them too.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Like, maybe she's gonna have to break up with him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now that we're talking about it, I can definitely see them bringing back the old ships to like finally like round out the series. And I don't know.
No, I don't think that, but we'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. But that's the end of the episode, guys.
That's it.
Let us get into our recap roundups.
Let's do it.
Recap roundups. Best moment.
Okay, my best moment, I think I'm gonna have to give it to like the witch sequence, because I think it was just like a cute little moment, and they were all like
getting signed up.
The writing was funny, yeah, like all of them getting like ready for it and stuff. So I thought that was a cute little moment. And yeah, it
was cute. My best moment's definitely gonna go to Phoenix Power. I was so excited seeing her like use her powers and like do this magic. I'm into it. I loved it.
WTF moment.
WTF moment, I'm gonna give it to Tabitha saying baby Anthony can't die and he's immortal, because I was like,
what? Yeah,
what does that mean? Like what are you gonna do with him now? What is, like, is he Jesus?
He's just gonna live forever? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, like what's the point?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
But it's a huge like thing.
Yeah, like good for them, I guess. They have like an immortal baby.
But Toni's face when she said, she goes, your baby is immortal, she's like she's like feeling herself. She's like, I gave birth to that.
She's like, I am the Virgin Mary. Oh. My WTF moment is gonna go to Cheryl bringing back Polly and Jason, because I was like,
yes,
really, girl?
Yeah.
Like bring back Nana, fine. Like
she
had her moment, but like Polly and Jason, really,
I was like, girl, like Cheryl takes literal one step forward and like 8 steps back.
Like Heather literally told her like 2 episodes ago, like, do not do anything like at an emotional level. Like, do not like don't play with magic.
I think that's the end of Cheryl and Heather, that's for sure.
Yeah, Heather's like, clock me out. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. MVP. My MVP, I'm gonna say Cheryl.
Okay, word.
Because I mean, ultimately, she did it all. Like she brings them back.
She did the damn thing.
Yeah.
And what's funny enough is, before talking to you, my MVP
I was like,
Sabrina.
You want to say something?
But after talking to you, I don't know if I can give it to Sabrina. I don't know.
Oh, God.
I feel like that is not what it is giving right now.
She showed up late. She showed up with only 12 hours remaining. Like, she didn't even do the job. She went on a date with her dead boyfriend in the middle of the universe falling apart.
She did nothing. I don't even know who my MVP. I guess it would be Cheryl, because she did. But I don't know. She equally did something stupid. So I was kind of like annoyed by her this episode.
But ultimately, like, she did bring them back. Like, she brought them back. So
I'm going to give it to Tabitha. I mean, I can't even give it to Tabitha. Tabitha Dunn said something stupid.
I know.
I mean,
I hated when she ended the episode.
I don't even know if I could give anybody.
Look, I mean, Brina was still clutch. Like, we still needed to see Brina. That's fine. It's just like she fell short.
Facilitate. She was like the facilitator. She's like the person that you hire to like bring your team back together. You know, like when you have a team day at work, like that's how it was. You're like, okay.
That's giving her a lot.
LVP.
So my LVP is definitely 100% is Fangs, because like he was such a loser. He didn't even do anything. He was so aggressive to Cheryl. I was like, you're just like, I'm not like, I don't like your character anymore. Like, you don't bring anything to this situation.
And he's always like, he's negative even in heaven. So like,
he's literally negative, like, Nancy. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
And then like 30% LVP is like Sabrina. Because of this entire podcast and what I said, because I truly just to your point, I really did feel like this was the Sabrina end. Like, this is what they kind of how they wanted to like end off Sabrina, and they did that in this episode. So they spent a lot of time with that, but in the context of what's happening in Riverdale and like the universe, we did not need that right now. It's just like it fell short. It was bad time. And also like she didn't even bring them back. So like, what was the point?
Like she was pretty much useless, and she just told them what to do. She didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
My LVP is actually gonna go to Betty, and I never give her LVP because she's never terrible. But like, honestly, I kind of blame the writers for this, but like, she did not need to be in this episode, period statement. She like did not do.
She had funny moments though.
But
she didn't do anything, but she had funny moments.
She didn't do anything. And like, that's the frustrating thing about this is like, Sabrina and her could have hooked up and they could have talked about the like harlot of Babylon. Instead, they like literally made her sit on the couch while they went out for dinner.
Honestly.
Like the whole time. Like, she wasn't like, I was kind of frustrated with the fact that like Betty was just like, you take this character who's so strong, she has so many things going on, and then they like ripped her, and
but she was stanky.
You're off this week.
She was stanky, so she couldn't do anything.
She was what?
She was stanky.
Oh, she was stanky. Yeah, exactly.
Because so it's the like, thing now.
Go take a shower. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to talk.
I really want to know what that thing means. I hope they like explain that next episode.
They have to. You can't just like drop that shit and just tell us and then like leave it.
Yeah. The best line. Best line is gonna go to Sabrina when she says, "Sorry it took me a minute. Lots of turbulence in the realms, but I'm here now. What can I do to help?" I was like, "Don't you know what you have to do? Like did they not tell you?
Your thing. Like, go." My best line.
But then I have a second one, and it was when she asked the girls, "Do you have your own broom, or do you want to ride with me?" I was like, "Oh, that's cute."
That's kind of cute. But I'm like, where are you guys going? Like, did you guys go anywhere? Like,
they had to go to the morgue. They had to go to the morgue to see Jughead.
And also, doesn't she teleport? Anyway, I'm over it. Mine is gonna go to Veronica when she says, "Sure, kill me so I can go visit my ex-boyfriend in heaven." Awesome. Like,
I loved it. Yeah. She was just sarcastic. She was like a sarcastic queen this episode, and like I loved it. She was really funny.
Let's get into our listener roundups. We have a ton.
Let's do it.
Let's start off with CHONI 5 on it. Best moment, the dance scene with the witches and Sabrina and Nick. Also, when Nick and Sabrina called out Betty saying she can't go to heaven. Let's still say that scene was funny. Worst moment was Kevin showing that his friends and his tether when he's been going against all of them this season, and Sheriff Keller arresting his son. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Sheriff Keller was there.
Okay. Also, I just like fangs and everything. Cheryl should have left him dead, and the CGI was poor. LOL. Ooh, rough. WTF moment when Fangs said that Cheryl was jealous of Fangs because Toni picked him over her. And then MVP, Sabrina and Cheryl. Cheryl could have left Fangs dead, but she didn't. She deserves a medal. And I get people would be annoyed for her bringing back Polly and Jason, but wouldn't most people bring back their loved ones if they could? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Also, we saw Archie kill all his friends to bring back Fred. True. LVP, Reggie for not killing Kevin, and Fangs for being greasy and nasty.
Nasty. Okay, so we have Mackenzie Burns. She says, best moment, Betty and Archie with their kids at the table. WTF moment, Jason and Polly life update. MVP is Cheryl. LVP, Frank/Tom. Best line is being married to you, having a family with you. It was literally like my heaven.
So cute.
Oh, I just got chills. Or everything I've ever wanted is all right here. Ugh. It was so cute.
Nancy Riverdrew said MVP Cheryl, LVP Sheriff Keller, best moment Veronica having to save Archie, craziest moment Reggie talking to his puppet self, and best line, how many people get to say they came back from the dead in Riverdale? A lot.
Yeah, I like that line too.
Yeah.
We have at it's Martsak. MVP is Reggie to save his friend from Percival. LVP is Percival and Frank. Best moment, BARCHIE family in heaven. What's WTF moment? Are we really have to go through the Varchie phase again?
Yeah.
I thought it finally ended in season 5. I hope V will do the right thing and will step out and let BARCHIE be.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed 100%.
Yeah. Best line, Tabitha to Sabrina, I mix milkshakes, not potions. Oh, I don't remember that. That's a cute one.
That one's cute. At Super Freddy Art says MVP Cheryl for bringing back everyone back. LVP Frank and Sheriff Keller. Best moments, all of the chaos shoutouts. WTF moments. Tabitha just devoted her life to Hecate, but she's also a Christian guardian angel. Wow, the read.
Yeah.
Best line, this is cuckoo bananas. But
Who says
I'm also
that?
kind of feeling it. I think when I forget what part it is, but she was like living for, it was Cheryl. Cheryl said
it was Cheryl?
But okay. I don't remember like what the context was. Is that all we got? Do we have any from Instagram? I think I saw one on Insta.
Checking. Yes, we do have one on Insta.
Let's hear it, girl.
From Sierra.
Yes. What she got?
Our girl Cece. Okay, best moment, the BARCHIE suite hereafter was so cute. The younger BARCHIE actors playing BARCHIE's kids was a nice touch, and I just love seeing them happy together. They really do have the best chemistry. WTF moment, Tabitha giving Veronica false hope about Varchie. Can't believe they do that to Betty. Can't we just let them be happy?
Agreed.
Yep. MVP. Now this is going to be weird, but Kevin. The fact that he made a good choice this episode was wild. Though Sabrina was also amazing. I loved watching her since I never watched Chaos. I also think Betty was really funny this episode too.
Yeah.
LVP, honestly, again, plot twist, but Tabitha. I didn't like how she told Veronica at the end. It just got on my nerves. This felt so out of character for her, and it's just rude to BARCHIE, who are happy together. 100% agreed. It just felt out of character for Tabitha, and it just didn't sit right. I'd also say Tom Keller because of WTF, you're literally trying to get your son killed. Like, agreed. Like,
what are you doing with your life?
Also, Veronica, like, they've done her so dirty since season 5, and it's tragic at this point. She was doing so well when she got her powers, but trying to pine for Archie while he's happy with Betty is such a setback, especially when she herself broke things off and told Drake to F off because BARCHIE was going strong. Oh my God, that's so true.
It is true.
Best line, my TT.
My TT.
I'm still holding on to hope that CHONI will reunite. I hate the Tangs relationship, but I also like how we get tiny little moments like that between Cheryl and Toni. Also, another WTF is when Polly and Jason are back alive and nobody is commenting on the fact that they are still blood related. Like, please just let them die.
Like, they had to die so we could forget that storyline. But yeah, it's so true.
Oh my God, so true. So many good roundups, guys. So many good ones.
So well done. Thank you so much. And so much for getting them out to us, because we are doing this way early in the morning.
Really early.
And we appreciate it.
You guys are on the ball.
Let us get to the final. We would like to thank our patrons of this episode. We have our Rewinder squad. We have White, Cliff, Hannah, and we have a new one, Haley. Hey, girl.
Oh,
and then our lit rewinders, Tina N and Kate, and our mommy rewinders, Becca, Sarah, Tamala, and Grace.
Thank you guys. And I'm just going to quickly plug our Patreons. There's a new Stranger Things season 4 finale, the whole season. It's like a 90-minute recap with J-Lag and I, and that's only available to our Patreon members. So thank you guys. If you would like to join our Patreon family, check us out at patreon.com/recap_rewind.
And also make sure you check us out on all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and you can also find us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iTunes. Like, subscribe, follow, and review, and comment to stay engaged with us at Recap Rewind. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you. Bye.